Hello, my name is Stevie Martinez. I am lecturer of music here at Coastal Carolina University in Conway, South Carolina, and also the principal bassist for the Long Bay Symphony in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I am here to talk about some excerpts that are coming up for our audition for the Region 4 All Region Orchestra for our Horry County students. So super excited for y'all to take on this adventure, and I just want to talk about some areas of concern and focus to make your audition just a little bit more successful, and to also add a little bit of practice elements to your routine. We do have 5 different selections, so we're going to start with this first one. The major excerpt with the quarter note at 152. This is an arrangement from Mendelssohn's Symphony No. 5, and this is going to be based out of the 4th movement. So make sure you go check out a couple recordings of this composition in its original format, and just to get the idea of what is happening, because as a bassist, and especially in this excerpt, there's a lot of information that we must be attentive to and make it all successful. So Mendelssohn, this is going to be a very light character as well, between melody and accompaniment. This is very typical of our Beethoven, even Mozart and Haydn symphonies. This nice punctuated spiccato-like bowing, especially with all these running 8th notes. From big number 43 all the way to big number 55, rehearsal 55, this is all pretty much accompaniment. So we must be very aware of how that accompaniment sounds and how we portray that. At 55, we get to join the orchestra and this very melodic, very forceful melody, and so we can bring out the notes a little bit longer in this area. So I'm just going to kind of comb through with this. I do have suggested fingerings for this whole excerpt. Make sure you use the link provided or the sheet music to make the reference and practice along, and just to get these basic foundations ready so you are successful for your upcoming audition. All right, enough talking, let's play some music. So I'm going to play this slightly slower than the intended tempo, mainly because I want to make sure I hit all the notes correctly and address anything that pops up. So we have this intro, again, the spiccato bowing. Nice little bounce between our bow and the string. There's a lot of great videos out there. I'll include this in the link in the description. That way you can actually practice this beautiful spiccato bowing to really highlight this nice punctuated classical texture. So let's start right here at the beginning. So this is all notated suggested fingerings, but we'll start with an open string on the up bow. So this is a beautiful D major area. Now we get into our second area. I highlighted this can all be played within groups or within the structure of our hand position 1-4 with a little bit extended shifts for the C sharps and F sharp. Just to walk through it, starting on that measure 50 or 45, going back for F sharp, back up to the A. Same thing with the C sharp. And we land on D for the open string. And now we're in B minor with this transition back to first position. So in real time, without any cuts, all the way through measure 51. Beautiful long note. Again, we got to make our way all the way up to the frog, so we are having the full duration in one bow. All the way to the frog. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now this area is very scary. Can we do an open string? A lot of room for noise. I'm going to suggest a 4th finger on that D on the pickup to the 2nd beat. It's going to be a quick shift, but the less noise we have with those open string crossings, it's going to be way better in your audition. So we have the up bow on the D to the F sharp, Open. Again, open string's fine. Retake all the way up to your balance point. Now you can use an open string on the downbeat of 55, which is great, or since you're in position for the C sharp, your second finger can be played on the A. And I like that because it's very nice and powerful. And there's no room for this kind of scraping of the open string. Retake for the down bow on the F sharp. This is all notated with the 4. Now this is our point of the melody. Nice and broad. All the notes are connected. The accents are slightly separated. That way we have a clean accent. Closing these open D strings. This is a habit of mine because I like to create really nice round tone. Open strings tend to open up the that tone bubble, and it just gets real nasally. I'm not a big fan of that. So nice round tone. This next area is to pick up with the B. Most folks are going after that first position. I'm going to go after this D hook area where the B is on the E string. Octaves are going to be fit right in there for the B to B. We shift back for the C sharp. So it sounds like this. One more time. And then we just use the fingers as suggested. Back to accompaniment. Sorry, one more time. Nice, easy up bows. We don't have to go. Okay, that's stylistically incorrect. Strong down bows. And just lighter up bows is kind of the character. Moving on, we have the F sharp with the 4. Again, in that D hook area, 4th position. This is a melody part as well. Back to accompaniment. Melody. Accompaniment. Stay in position for the F sharp, and now we're like the brass section. Nice, big, round sound. Now, big 72, this is probably our scariest part, where we have these arpeggios. Practice your arpeggios, they never go away. We have an F sharp minor arpeggio starting on 4 of the A. Just practicing that little arpeggio. Just getting your ears, and then we have the C sharp major arpeggio with starting on the E sharp. So use these fingerings. These are going to be really effective, and especially when you lock it in nice and easy. Again, big up bow here. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Fingerings are good here at measure 80. Now here, the F sharp can be played with a 4 or a 3. It's your preference at this point, but the fingerings here are good. So 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 1, 4. Then we go to 2 for D, C sharp, crossing over for B on the D string. So that whole section starting at 80, nice and slow, just so you have the whole idea. It's a lot of fun once you get on the fingers, and once you get up the tempo, it's just a lot of fun to play this excerpt. Have fun. Happy practicing. Next up, we have our minor excerpt number 1, quarter note at 112. This is an excerpt from Pizziola, and if we know anything about Pizziola, it's a lot of rhythm elements that we must focus. The dynamics are overemphasized in a sense. You want to pay attention to those and just almost over-exaggerate those to make it very dramatic, especially with our double fortes, and even our triple fortes, these forçandos, and the difference between a mezzo forte to a forte. This needs to be paid attention throughout your performance. I'm going to give you a couple suggestions of where to play these notes, and also just the rhythms as well. We have right here at the opening, these octave E's. I like to start this octave E with a 4, and you can find that harmonic with a 4. And this is where it's going to be. You don't want to, that's a lot of string crossing, especially between the A. So I like to go after this 4. And why the 4? Well, guess what? You have to go for a C sharp eventually, so let's just stay within a half step shift from our gate. So with this rhythm, we have a dotted quarter note, and a quarter note. You can also think about a 3, 3 plus 2. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. And again, the accents on the fifth measure are still in that 3 2 grouping. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 E and do 1 E and do 1. So a great way to practice this is again with the metronome and just saying the rhythms and accenting as well too. I like to also tap the beat along with this while I say it. That way I have two different planes of attention, the beat and then my performance. Da 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 dee. And with numbers, 1 and 4, 1 and 4, 1 and 4, 1 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 E and a 1. So that's what we want to pay attention to with this rhythm. If we can't say it, we can't sing it, we can't play it. So make sure that you practice just that little bit of practice of just saying with the metronome. So we start here on this octave E. Now that little area here, I gave a suggested fingering 1 2 4 in position of C sharp, and then we shift up for the E and the D hook, which you're going to catch with that thumb, so it makes it a really nice easy transition. And then we land on 2 for the F natural. It's a really cool chromatic climb into the F, but nice and punctuated rhythm is what we're looking for with the Pizziola. Now here, this is all straightforward. I'm just going to play this slow so you can see where the positions are. 2 on F on the A, then we go to G on the D string, half position. That's it for those for those 3 measures. Then we go into these fun octaves. I block these out in brackets, shift with the brackets, that way we stay in the area. Again, we have this 3 3 2 rhythm in that measure. But it kind of carries over to the next measure, 3 3 3 3. Let's not worry about too much of that, but the brackets is what we want to pay attention to. So we have F, E flat, D flat, and then C. So we have that very common bass line progression highlighted with this descending bass line. Let's try it one more time. And that B natural and G is going to be in position for that C. So that's why we want to travel down the A and G string in this block. That way those octaves are always in nice in tune. Then we land on 1 on C on the A string. I'm going to play this slow so you can check out what's going on. 1. So context. Now here at the F, we have this pattern 1 1 4 1, and we're going to use that same pattern in the next measure as we shift up. So keeping that first finger kind of padded through both strings is going to help us out. Good practice area for that. And then the next measure is a 3 4. We're on C's. Rest. Up bow. And that last C, I would recommend playing on the E string. That way you have a nice, good ground of a bite of a note. It can be a little iffy on the A string, but that E is going to be a nice solid sound every time. Okay, there again, let's go into our minor excerpt number 1 for the quarter note at 72, lento espressivo. This is kind of like our minor excerpt number 1, but a lot slower, a little bit more contrast, especially with the tempo difference. I'm going to give you some suggested fingers as we go through. Again, practice with the metronome at this tempo is going to be ideal to make sure it's all locked in. Articulation and rhythm is also, again, very important with this excerpt. I'll give you a couple suggestions on our first measure. We can start with a 1 1 1 in first position for the B and E's, which is lovely. Take it a step further though, we can also have a very nice singing melodic area starting here on the B on the E string. Why do I want that? Well, you can have a little bit more darker tone. But first position is going to be just fine. Next up we have A's. That was one of the reasons I wanted to go in this area. That way I can have full accents and staccatos with a closed string. Either with a 1 or a 4. With an open string, you can definitely hear how much of a challenge that can be. Okay, a lot more distance in this area, but choose your battles wisely. We do the 16th starting on a down bow. 1, 2. So maybe we can switch up the bowing, not starting down bow, but starting up bow. That way we end on a down bow for the F area. So, at that point, to shift up for this B area. That way I can shift down for the A, close the A, and then D. And that is a good little audition tip when you're doing split octaves. Play them as a block sound or a block area, because sometimes a little out of tuneness with an open string can really destroy an audition. So I wouldn't say it's cheating, it's just playing it safe. And there's our minor excerpt number 1. Very straightforward, but nice and expressive long tones for this one. Happy practicing. All right, we're going to talk about minor excerpt number 3, the pizzicato. We're going to assume this is oboed because of that third measure, dotted half note of the F. It has a crescendo, so I'm going to assume that we have to use a bow to make sure that crescendo happens in the moment. I also don't see any pizzicato notation here at the beginning, so let's assume that this is oboed. So right at the beginning, I'm just going to go ahead and give you a couple of suggestions here. I would say, starting with the open D string, we have these first 3 notes. One more time. And then G. You can play open G, which is great, but it has that nasally sound again, that open string. We would never really want to land on open string, especially on downbeats. So I like to close that, and I also put you in position for the next couple notes. C sharp here, and then we just shift back for the F sharp, and then the F natural in position. Now we're in first position for the B, shifting up for G, half position B flat, again up, and then we're here on 1 on D, and we can just play this all in first position. This D octave area. We can't play open D and go to 4 here for that shift. I may make a suggestion to go close the D with the 1. That way, those octaves are never out of tune. We're set up for the G. Now that rhythm, I played it extremely out of time, but if we have the quarter note at 160 about, let's be a little bit bright on this one. Da 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 da. 1 and 1 and 1 and 1. In time, 1 2 3 1 2 3. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. And a nice crescendo right at the end, right there. Very straightforward excerpt. I think the big thing is the octaves. And of course, getting that up the tempo at 160. All right, happy practicing. All right, you made it to the final excerpt, minor excerpt number 4 with a half note at 120. So pay close attention, especially with those half notes, and especially with this nice broad sound at the end of this area. This is all D major. As long as you've been practicing your D major scales, this is going to be very, very approachable. We do start with a D, notated D, concert D, a double forte. It's very easy, just go right for it, for an open D, but you heard my scratch, right, that scrape of that lift. I would always suggest going after a closed D when we have downbeats of open strings. And you also have a lot of room for expressive vibrato. Keep these notes nice and straightforward. This is all pretty straightforward with the fingerings, but I'm just going to comb through this as we go through. So we start here on 4 at the A string, F sharp's in position, first position. I made a mistake of going to open string. Don't do that. Try to close it. 2 on C sharp, first position. A is all right. Shift up for the A. In position for the D. We can go to 3 or 4 for the younger folks. Go to 4 for the people who are taller than me. Go to 3. Then we go to E. 4 on the D. 2 C sharp. Climbing down. Close the D. D major all day. So 22 to 8, F sharp with the 2, play with the 4 with the G, 1 on A, shift, shift for the 2, harmonic, close it. Then we have this low D. You probably can't play that. Do you want to use an open string? You probably don't. Guess what that harmonic can do is ring out while you shift for that D. And tempo, 1, 2, go for the open string. As long as you can have a nice punctuation with that, I encourage that all day, especially with the harmonic. 1, 2, 1. And it's nice and quick right off it. Just a little button at the end. D major all day. This is a great excerpt just to warm up with and just get long tones. So very straightforward. best of luck with your audition coming up. Can't wait to hear the results. And you can email me directly with the email address provided at any time. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions and also send any visual references that I can put together for you to make your practice easier. All right. Best of luck. Happy practicing.